Okay, hello, this is me under your car, right? So I got a flashlight you can see here that I'm looking under here with, but the flash is also on the phone, so bear with me as I can only use one hand for the phone and one hand for the flashlight. This is the oil pan. The oil pan has two gaskets. This one is dry, looks like it's been replaced. The lower oil pan gasket, the upper gasket, which I'll point at right here where it seals against the engine block, is obviously leaking. So you can see oil on all the bolts around that oil pan. You can see all the oil around the starter, and could possibly be a rear main seal leak also, as you can see oil all along the back side of the motor dripping here. Now the water you had seen leaking earlier is dripping right here, as you can see. Hold on. And that water drips from the condensation from the air conditioning. You see it dripping there? Watch it. See that drop? Just keeps dropping. That's water from the condensation from your AC. That is not coolant leak. So on this side of the motor, under here, all we have is oil leaking from the drain plug. This camera doesn't autofocus too well. So you have oil leaking from the drain plug, oil on the oil filter, you can see oil all over here. From this oil pan gasket. And then if you look, let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. If you look right up in here, see all that oil I'm shining the light on up there? That's coming from the top of the engine. All that oil leaking, that is the valve cover gaskets. You need these oxygen sensors too, that I'm touching the flashlight with. You got check engine lights for the oxygen sensors. That's not the big concern right now. So as you can see, you got oil leaks from the valve covers, oil leaks from the oil pan. This is a hose that could potentially be leaking right here that I'm shining this light on. This is a coolant hose. And I'm shining all the way up it. And there's no coolant leaking from anywhere there. That's the bottom side. If you can see up there, that's the bottom of your upper radiator hose. And then your lower radiator hose, I'm shining the light on there. Here goes another one of your radiator hoses on the bottom. So I'm all underneath here, obviously, and there's no coolant leaking of any kind. You can see that hose there. If we were leaking from the water pump underneath it, you'd see it leaking from under there, which it is not. What you do notice is oil leaks under here, no radiator leaks. Okay, so I'm at the shop that I work at, as you can see. I'll give you a better angle. And right here on this device that you can see, I have right there that I'm shining the light on. That adapter is to do a coolant pressure test. So if you look here, you pump this guy up and it builds pressure, right? And if you look here, the cap, the radiator cap says it should take 16 psi pressure. You see that right there? 16 psi. So while I was laying under there, I had pumped it up to 16 psi, and it did drop a little bit. I don't know if you can read that without me putting the flash on it. Hold on. It's just under 15 psi. So I'm gonna put the phone down to pump it. Okay, so now you can see, if I can get this thing to focus again, there we go. We're just past 16 pounds of pressure, and it holds the pressure pretty well. In like a matter of 5-10 minutes, it'll drop a little bit, but not by a whole lot. It's gonna drop. It's pretty much holding. So it's very minimal leak wherever this leak is. So I took this cover off to look down in the radiator over here. And you can't see as good because this camera on this phone is kind of crappy. But I can see real good down in here. And the radiator doesn't seem to be cracked anywhere down here. There you go. Now you can probably see that. You see how dry it is? Oh, look at this. I think I just found our leak. Look at that. Okay, are you watching this crack here? It looks like that might be our leak, that little crack at the top of the radiator. You see how it's leaking down right there? There you go, you can probably see that. So you're probably leaking it from here. Huh. That's your radiator leak. Okay, so you need a new radiator. Because look, if you look over here, radiator looks nice and dry over here. This is our leak right here. And so I've pumped this sucker up like to 18, right? And the only thing I'm seeing a little bit wet is this crack right here. You see that there? And you could see where it had dripped down and leaked right there that way. You see that? So I just rubbed it dry. And there it is. You got a tiny little crack in the radiator right there, and you're losing water from it. So that is the diagnosis. This is the kit, by the way, that we use to pressure test it. I have the same kit, but I was missing that orange fitting for a Ford. So there you are. A Popka complete auto repair here in beautiful Popka, Florida. And there's your vehicle being pressure tested. That's me saying hello. So I got your vehicle here, and apparently from what we can see, you need a radiator. Look at that little puddle of coolant that's formed just in the time I walked away real quick. So there's your leak. It's a little hairline fracture in the radiator. There's your crack, and we are so hard to see this, guys. Hold on. Just past 15 pounds of pressure. Neighborhood of 16 to 18, somewhere around there. So there's your crack in your radiator. That's where you're losing coolant from. Now, the other thing I did was bypass the heater core. Let me show you what I did there. Those two outlets go into the heater core, and I took the two hoses and I put that 90-degree bend. So now it'll just circle back through the system without going into the heater core. So if you ever wanted your heater core fixed, then those hoses would just plug up to the new heater core outlets, aluminum outlets that are sticking out. Yeah, you're not gonna have a heater, but you're not gonna worry about, you can run the AC now because the heater core is disconnected. Your AC is working, but you need a radiator. And you got a few oil leaks under there, valve cover gaskets and whatnot that you need to take care of. So I made this video long enough, but I wanted you guys to get a full understanding of what's going on here. I'll put together an estimate of exactly how much it'll cost to replace this radiator, and I'll go ahead and include an estimate to do that oil pan and the valve cover gaskets also. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.